Okay, I have something different to share with you today that is still very much math card magic. Okay, so I have three representations of the same number, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Okay, and the ace is going to take the place of the 1. And I also have a single die here. So what we're going to do is for the different values on the die, we're going to multiply this number by those values. Okay? Now, of course, to multiply this number by 1 is boring. It's just itself. So we'll really start at 2 through 6. Okay? So what I'm going to show you in the first half is multiplying this number by 2, 4, or 5, and then we'll finish up with 3 and 6. Okay? And so you can use a single die to achieve those values when you go to perform this, or just have the spectator randomly choose a digit between 2 and 6. Okay? So let's say we roll the die and we get a 2. Okay? So you just explain to the spectator that you're going to use these 6 cards to perform a bit of arithmetic for us. Namely, we're going to multiply this number by 2. Now, I'm showing you the answers here. You wouldn't show that to the spectator necessarily. In fact, you can have the spectator get a calculator out or the phone, type this in, and then be ready to multiply it by one of the values here, 2 through 6. So let's say we're going to multiply this by 2. All you would need to do is just take these 6 cards, okay, and you would take them under the table for about 3 seconds and then bring them out claiming that you've done the multiplication of this number by 2. Now, I can't show you that under the table, so I'll go ahead and just show you what I'm doing under the table. Okay, so if we're multiplying by 2, all I need to do under the table is move the top 2 to the bottom. That's all you need to do. And then you would just bring out the cards. Spectators type that into their calculator app or their calculator itself, and they're going to get 285,714. And it's going to perfectly match their answer. And you did it in 1 or 2 seconds. Let's say the number they want, or the number that comes up on the die, is a 4. So you would just take this packet here that is representing the starting values here. And so for 4, I would just move 4 cards to the bottom, bring those out. Oh, I have to make sure I put them out in the right order. And put them out from top to bottom. And then have the spectator confirm that the number is 571428. And it will be. Okay. And then the final one for the first part here, let's say we multiply it by 5. Any guesses as to what I do with the packet? Well, you have 2 choices here. You can move the top 5 cards to the bottom. Okay. But as you might guess, it's actually easier. You'll achieve the same thing by just moving 1 card from the bottom to the top. Bring those out for confirmation that you get 714285. 714285. Okay. So we're using a packet of cards to do some pretty nasty multiplication with some of these values here. Okay, and then I just need to show you what you do for values 3 and 6. Now for 6, you should realize that there's something that's going to have to be done differently, because if we only have 6 cards and you move or shift 6 of them, you get back to the original packet. And this number times 6 is certainly not itself. Okay, so here are the 2 exceptions. And what's really cool about it, if you just remember these 2 exceptions, you have it. Because the other values are what you would hope they would be. Multiplying by 2, you shift 2. Multiplying by 4, you shift 4. Multiplying by 5, you shift 5. Okay? So what do we do for 6? For 6, you would just shift 3 of these. Okay, top 3 move to the bottom, or bottom 3 move to the top. And then if they happen to choose 3 to be multiplied by this, you actually just need to move 1. So if you can remember these two exceptions, multiply by 3, shift 1, multiply by 6, shift 3, and the others are as you would expect, you'll have this down perfectly. And I want to point out there's a special name for this kind of number. It's called a cyclic number in number theory, because in the case of multiplying it by, you could even say 1 through 6, because 1 you won't shift anything. You get a 0 shift if you multiply this by 1. If you multiply this number by anything between 1 and 6, it can be arrived at by just cyclically shifting the digits without actually interchanging any of them. Okay? So it's like you're just rotating the number. If you picture 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, like for a 6-hour clock, it's like you're just rotating it clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay, well anyway, I thought this is kind of a fun little effect to share with you. So have fun with that and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.